Marianne, Princess Zusein Wittgenstein-Sayn, known as Mamaratsa, captured history through her lens, and her story is as captivating as her pictures. Let's dive in. Marianne's love for photography sparked at just 9 years old, back in 1928. Born in Salzburg, she later studied at Munich's Blocher Art School in 1941. A year later, she married Ludwig Prince Zusein Wittgenstein-Sayn, a Wehrmacht lieutenant she met through mutual friends. But their fairytale was soon tested. World War II brought chaos. With Ludwig deployed on the Eastern Front, Marianne stayed with her parents in Salzburg, welcoming her first 2 children. In 1945, retreating German troops destroyed the bridge near Sayn Castle, leaving it in ruins from artillery fire. She and her family were safe in Austria, but the damage was done. And the war's end brought new challenges. When Ludwig returned from British captivity in 1946, the couple faced a wrecked castle. They rolled up their sleeves, rebuilding the gardens and farm. By 1952, with 4 kids in tow, they settled into Landhaus am Friedrichsberg in Sayn. In 1958, Ludwig inherited the title of Prince of Sayn Wittgenstein-Sayn, making Marianne a princess in name and duty. But tragedy wasn't far off. In 1962, Ludwig was struck down by a drunken truck driver right outside their home, a heartbreaking loss. Marianne, now a widow at 43, took charge of Sayn's administration alongside a guardian, until her son Alexander came of age. She turned her grief into action, and her next chapter was about to shine. Photography became her lifeline. Marianne's lens captured legends like Maria Callas, Gianni Agnelli, and Luciano Pavarotti, her travel reports dazzling the world. By her 100th birthday, in 2019, she'd archived 300,000 photos, a treasure trove of history. Her nickname, Mamaratsa, fit perfectly. She was a royal with a paparazzi's eye. But her talents didn't stop there. From the 1970s to 2009, Marianne hosted country lunches at a hunting lodge in Fuschl am See during the Salzburg Festival. Over 100 guests, including festival artists and stars like her close friend Günter Sachs, dined with her each year. Her lodge became a cultural hotspot, blending royalty with art in a way only she could. Yet, as time passed, she stepped back from the spotlight. In her final years, Marianne moved to her Munich apartment, living quietly until her passing on May 4, 2025, at an incredible 105. Fans on X whispered about her health, some saying she'd been frail but still sharp, though nothing's confirmed. Roger May, a titan of French politics, shaped Gardanne with his communist ideals, until his final days on May 4, 2025. Let's unravel his story. Born in 1935 in Hyères, Roger May carried Italian and Swiss blood from his grandfather, a Tuscan shipyard worker, and his mother. In 1958, he landed in Gardanne as a teacher, a quiet start for a man who'd soon leave a massive mark. But his fire for justice was already burning. In 1961, May joined the French Communist Party, drawn by their fight for Algerian independence. As a teachers' union activist, he found his voice, and by 1976, he was Gardanne's general councillor. A year later, he became mayor, a role he'd hold for over 4 decades. His grip on the town seemed unbreakable. May's biggest political win came in 1996. After Bernard Tapie's dismissal, a by-election in Bouches-du-Rhône opened the door. May stunned everyone by knocking out Bernard Kouchner in the first round and beating the far-right's Damien Barilla in the second. He served as a Member of Parliament until 2002, balancing his duties with his mayoral role. But not all battles ended in victory. Fast forward to 2020. At 85, Mai stepped back from the mayoral race, backing his deputy Jean-Marc Le Piennard. His party had other ideas. The French Communist Party and France Insoumise chose Claude Jorda instead, sparking a bitter internal clash. The chaos led to a four-way race, and the right-wing candidate, Hervé Grenier, snatched the win. Mai's dream of a seamless handover crumbled. On May 4, 2025, Roger Mai passed at 90 in a Gardanne palliative care home. Tributes on X called him a champion of social justice, a mayor who loved his town deeply. His 43 years in office left a lasting imprint on the community, despite the messy end. But there's more to the story. Whispers on X suggest Mai's health had been fading for years, with some wondering if he regretted not stepping down sooner to secure his legacy. Nothing's confirmed, but it paints a complex picture of a man who gave everything to Gardanne. His death came just as France's far-right tensions boiled over, with Marine Le Pen's recent conviction making headlines, ironic for a man who once beat the far-right himself. Jake Findlay, a Scottish goalkeeper, who stood tall for clubs like Aston Villa and Luton Town, lived that story, until his final whistle on May 4, 2025. Let's dive into his journey. Findlay's career kicked off in 1973 with Aston Villa's youth squad. By 19, he was in the first team, debuting in England's second division. He stuck around for 5 seasons, playing 15 matches total. Though often a reserve, he helped Villa win promotion in 1974 to 1975, and lifted the League Cup twice, in 1975 and 1977. But bigger challenges awaited. In 1978, Findlay joined Luton Town, stepping in for Milija Aleksic. He became a mainstay, playing 167 league games. His finest moment: helping the Hatters clinch the second division title in 1981 to 1982, earning promotion to the top flight. He stayed through 1983, even playing in the first division. But not everything went smoothly. The 1983 to 1984 season saw Findlay loaned out to Barnsley and Derby County, where he played just 7 games in the third division. Back at Luton, he didn't play another match, and by 1985, he was released. His next stop was Swindon Town, where he managed 4 games, his last in professional leagues. Findlay's later years took him to Peterborough, Portsmouth, and Coventry City as a reserve. At Coventry, he was part of their 1987 FA Cup winning squad, a proud moment despite being backup to Steve Ograzovic. Speaking of Oggy, he called Findlay immensely popular, a sentiment echoed by Luton's Brian Horton, who praised his skill and character. On May 4, 2025, Jake Findlay passed at 70, leaving fans in shock. Tributes poured in, celebrating his commanding presence in goal. Yet, some on X wonder why he never earned more Scotland caps. Fans claim he could have had 20 or 30, given Scotland's struggles back then. Nothing's confirmed, but it adds to his mystique. Luis Galvan, a defensive rock for Argentina's 1978 champions, lived that story, leaving a legacy that ended with his passing on May 5, 2025. Let's uncover his journey. Born in 1948 in Fernandez, a small town in northwest Argentina, Galvan found his footing at CA Taulas in Córdoba. For 12 years, he played alongside stars like José Daniel Valencia, chasing glory. Taulas came close, second in 1977, third in 1980, but never clinched the league title. Still, Galvan's 503 appearances made him a club legend, winning 17 local titles and a Nacional Copa in 1977. In 1978, Galvan's moment arrived. Selected by coach Cesar Luis Menotti, He started every match of the World Cup on home soil. Argentina faced the Netherlands in the final at Estadio Monumental, and Galvin was a wall at centre-back, helping secure a 3-1 win after extra time. Menotti called him the tournament's most consistent player, even above Mario Kempes, and FIFA gave him the Fair Play award. But there's a darker layer to that victory. The 1978 World Cup remains tainted. Argentina's military junta, amidst the Dirty War's horrors, allegedly paid off Peru for a 6-0 win to advance, a result many still question. Galvin and his teammates played under that shadow, their triumph forever linked to whispers of corruption. How much did they know? That question lingered for decades. After Taulas, Galvin joined Loma Negra in 1982, then returned to Córdoba with CA Belgrano in 1983. A year later, he moved to CA Central Norte in Salta, and in 1986, he played for Club Bolívar in Bolivia. By late 1986, he was back at Taulas, retiring in 1987 after a career of grit and loyalty. But his international stage wasn't done yet. Galvin suited up for the 1982 World Cup in Spain, again a starter under Menotti. Argentina's run ended in the second round, with a 1-3 loss to Brazil in Barcelona marking Galvin's final match. With 34 caps between 1975 and 1982, he stepped away alongside other 1978 heroes like Kempes and Osvaldo Ardiles. His international legacy was sealed. On May 5, 2025, Galvin passed at 77 after weeks in a Córdoba hospital, battling a kidney infection that led to a virus. Tributes flooded in. Kempes called him a comrade in struggle and glory, while goalkeeper Ubaldo Fillol praised his character. Taulas mourned their emblem, a man who gave them 503 games. But questions remain. Some on X speculate Galvin privately wrestled with the 1978 controversies, wondering if the junta's actions tainted his proudest moment. Nothing's confirmed, but it adds a layer of mystery to his story. His death came just weeks after teammate Hugo Gatti's passing, a somber time for Argentina's football fans. Bendik Rugaes, a librarian turned politician, left a mark on both worlds, until his passing on May 5, 2025, at 82. Let's dive into his remarkable story. Rugaes grew up in the remote northern town of Kirkenes, SR Varanja. In 1961, he finished school and headed to the University of Oslo, earning a degree in education by 1967. He graduated from the Norwegian Library Academy in 1971, but not before lecturing at Statens Lærerskole and working at Rikstrygdeverket. His early career was just the beginning. By 1969, Rugaes was a lecturer at the Norwegian Library Academy, becoming its rector from 1975 to 1981. He chaired the Norwegian Research Librarians Association in the early 1970s, showing his knack for leadership. Later, as National Librarian from 1994 to 2002, he pushed for the National Library in Rana, a game-changer for Norway's cultural preservation. But his career took an unexpected turn. In November 1996, Rugaes was named Minister of Planning and Coordination in Thorbjørn Jagland's government, a surprise pick after Tarjei Ardilesen's exit. Tasked with the Norwegian House project, a vision for Norway's future, he struggled with a tight timeline. When Jagland's government fell in 1997, the project fizzled, something Rugaes later blamed on lack of time. It was a brief but revealing chapter. Rugaes didn't stop there. From 2001 to 2004, he served as Director General for Education, Culture, Youth, and Sport at the Council of Europe, shaping policies across borders. Then, from 2004 to 2006, he was Counselor for Culture at the Norwegian Embassy in Washington, D.C., leading Norway's 2005 centenary celebration of independence. the proud moment in his career. On May 5, 2025, Rugaeus passed away at Lovisenberg Diakonale Sykehus in Oslo, months after a cancer diagnosis with metastasis. His daughter Kotia called him a colorful man who loved bringing people together, often hosting lively balcony parties in Bislett. Nasjonalbiblioteka Aslak Sira Meyer praised his role in shaping Norway's library system, calling him a generous leader. Whispers on X suggest Rugaeus might have regretted his short political stint, feeling he could have done more with time. Some also speculate his health struggles were tougher than shared, though nothing's confirmed. It paints a picture of a man with unfinished dreams.